Okay, today we are going to discuss about ECG interpretation. Generally, anyone who is going to teach you ECG, he will just go for a classic way of reading rate, rhythm, blah, 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 until you find the diagnosis. But I'm going to start actually beyond down to that level. Just started, don't worry. So I'm going to start about what actually ECG is. Anyone knows? What is ECG?
A tracing of the electrical activity in your heart.
Okay, so all of us, we know about P wave is representing what?
H wave.
Actually what?
Traction.
Contraction.
Contraction, it is a mistake. That's why.
Polarization.
Depolarization. It is again electrical activity. It does not mean the heart is working. It's okay. Do you know about PEA? Have anyone certified for ALS?
Yeah.
Do you know about PEA?
Yeah.
Which is pulseless
Electrical.
electrical activity. Electrical activity is there, but there's no pulse, no heart function even. So it is only electrical. So we call it a we're going to discuss about that, about depolarization of that later on. But just to put in your mind, ECG is just a recording of the electrical activity of the heart. Is that all right? Okay. This is important. Picture, why?
You're Egyptian.
The heart. In fact, our heart and our chest is not the same. People think that right ventricle, left ventricle, right atrium, left atrium, aorta. It is not going this way. It is something like this, you know. So, can you simply look at left ventricle over here, and you can see even the aorta coming up from where? It's supposed to be from the left ventricle, isn't it? But the left ventricle is here. So the left ventricle is this way, aorta comes here, right ventricle is in front. Which is that one? So the right ventricle comes here towards the right side over there, and this is the right atrium, which is dark color. Left atrium somewhere behind this vessels. How can I get all the surfaces of the heart? I need to have a picture of the heart. Anyone got arrested before? No? Okay. So
Nobody's gonna admit.
In Egypt anyway, if anyone got arrested, they picture him, front picture, right, and left profile to get all the face from ear to ear, because my face is here, but some parts are still there. So they take all the way. Of course, no face here, they can look in the back, but the heart has back. So we need also to record it if it is possible. So to get around the heart all the way, we need to just take the picture from all the directions or possible directions to get more clear vision about what is going on. Have you got it? Okay. So, why 12 leads? Simple. If I'm going to look into his face, I will never expect how big is his body. And I will never expect how small is his tail. You cannot imagine it. Can you imagine it? It's that big body with elephant tail. Impossible. How we can get it? By getting photo from all the aspects. Even if we could even get it from the bottom to picture his abdomen. It's also needed sometimes the top if we need. So it is moving around all the heart to get the possible view to interpret or to get out with some clues. Leads. All of us, I believe, we know about the ECG machine itself and how many leads we have. How many leads? 12. 12 leads. ECG. But how many leads it has?
10.
It is 10. That's right. So it is 10 leads. This is the difference between the leads of the machine and the leads we have here. So it's a 12 leads ECG, but 10 leads in machine. Obviously, we attach here simply 6. We'll explain how and where later on. around the chest. And the other 4 is an extremity, so right, left shoulder, and right, left lower limbs, or hip, whatever. It's okay? I might need that picture later on, I might come back to it, okay? Okay. So as we agreed before, ECG is a record of electrical activity occurring in the heart during the cardiac cycle, is not the contractility. B-wave is not atrial contractility. QRS is not ventricular contractility, it's a ventricular depolarization, which eventually, after fractions of seconds, is going to be contractility. Have you got it? So, how many leads we have in ECG? 12. We have 3, we call it bipolar leads, which actually assessing the potential difference in electrical activity between 2 points in comparison to the heart. For instance, we attach here, here is the right shoulder, left shoulder, and left leg. Assessing the electrical potential between these 2 points, giving us lead 1. Same way between the right shoulder, left leg, giving us the lead 2, and potential between left upper and lower, giving us lead 3. So electrical potential here and there, one of them will be positive to the other one. So usually, lead 1, the positive here, negative there. And the lead 2, again negative here, positive down there. And lead 3, again negative relative to the positivity here. So what's going to do is going to assess actually the potential difference in ECG between these 2 points. So it gives us some view for the heart. And the view, how it gives, I'll give you in another picture, you'll understand more deeply about this point. Okay? Any electrical activity in the heart which is going towards the positive lead is going to be reflected as positive wave in the ECG. And any electrical activity which is going against the positive pole in that lead is going to give a negative wave in the ECG. It will be clear more after that. Then we have, in fact, 9 unipolar leads. EVR, EVL, EVF, anybody knows what it stands for? It's augmented vector right, augmented vector left, and this foot. Okay? It is again unipolar, but again we use a differential between 2 points. But here is a difference. For example, AVR is the right side here, trying to see the heart from this side as a line, not as a differential between this and that, no, as a line from here. To which point? To the point, the 2 points here and there, at, you know, if we imagine we have a segment here, this negative, this positive will move to a point that is 0. It means equal to each other. Then that EVR is going to record towards that point. Have you got it? So the EVR is going to point or to record when to a point when it comes equal other side. That one is going to record the difference here. So here and there is going to be, for instance, 0 here at that point. So the view of EVL will be that way. And again, any wave who comes towards the arrow or towards the lead is going to be positive, and any wave in the ECG or the heart who is going to be away from that point is going to be negative in ECG. Okay? This again unipolar leads, which is V1 to V6, which usually you attach it to the chest, and I will let you know where we attach. and it is just direct record of the electrical activities. There is no dilemma like as other limb leads. Okay, it is just simply V1 records what's going on behind it. V2 is going to record whatever going behind it, and so on until V6. Okay. It is where we attach the leads. So, for instance, V1 is the intercostal space of chest number 4 on the right side, and V2 is going to be on the fourth intercostal space but to the left side. Then just bypass it, V4 is going to be fifth intercostal space mid clavicular line, and V3 between both of them. Okay? V5 and 6, same line of fifth intercostal, but again to the axilla. So this one mid clavicular line, that one anterior axillary line, that one is the mid axillary line. So just same fifth intercostal, just going to the axilla. Okay? It is the same one I want to show you again, is how the heart looks. So here is left ventricle, all of that left ventricle, small part of right ventricle, and it is again going to the back. This is the right atrium. So global part which is exposed, or surface anatomy, exposed to the chest wall is actually left ventricle. Okay? That might help a bit. So that one is just like a cross section, you know. There's the sternum, the vertebra, heart in between. Relation to the heart to the chest leads, what actually it is looking at. Okay? So simply V1 and V2 looking to what? Anyone knows? Right ventricle and
Septum.
part of septum. V5 and 6, sorry, 3, 4, 5 and 6.
Left ventricle.
When we go more, it's going for the left ventricle more. Okay. Come to that view. The heart in between, all the leads are around. So here is the EVR. Do you remember when you told EVR is checking this way against the points here? So EVR, looking from that aspect. Lead 3, looking from that aspect. AVF, looking from here. 2 from there. 1 from there. AVL from there. Okay, are we missing something? Posterior. It's all anterior. All anterior. Left ventricle sounds wrong, but what is actually the posterior is not there. That's why we might need it later, if we need. Okay, so from that shape, can you imagine if we like to look at, for example, the right ventricle, where we can check from there, or from there,
V1 and V2.
V1 and V2. If we like to check the inferior surface of the left ventricle, where is the inferior here?
Yeah, 2, 3 and in, yeah.
Absolutely. It is the mirror coming from down. If we like to have the lateral ventricle, for example, lateral aspect of the left ventricle, where we can look at.
4 to 6.
So here, that area, and from there, again, AVL and lead 1 can look at it. So simply you can guess where to lie. One point here, that's why we always check AVR is always a negative lead. That's why it's looking actually away from the globe of the heart. You know, the heart is bumping here and it's looking at that area. So always, all those going against actually the arm. So that's why AVR always negative. Because the electrode is here, recording the potential happening here, and actually it's happening this way. So all the electrical waves goes this way. That's why AVR is always negative. Lead 1 always positive. Always positive. Some cases can be negative. I'll discuss about what's supposed to be. Okay? It is a bit basic things which looks initially boring, but something to put in base we can build on. Okay? So septum V1, V2, anterior surface of course is V3, V4, and lateral surface is V5, V6, and lead 1 and AVL. Inferior surface, as we agreed, is down there. When we are going to discuss about a clue of the right ventricle or a clue of the left ventricle, like hypertrophy or like band branch or so we look at R wave in V1 and V2 if we need a clue about the right hand ventricle, and we need to the R wave in V5 and V6 to give a clue about the left ventricle, and we'll discuss that on time. Okay? Okay. Again, another way to put the knowledge on. So in the ECG paper, we see that lateral is lead 1, EVL, and again back here to 5 and 6. Inferior 2, 3, EVF. Septum, anterior. Involving lateral, septum, anterior, and lateral, we call it extensive. Involving all. Okay. We'll come down to the ECG. We have finished the boring point. Okay? So don't get bored. Now we're going to that one. So, what is the ECG paper? How can I explain it? How can I read it? This is the ECG paper. Why it was divided this way? It actually has big squares and in between small squares. Is that right? Is it beneficial? Yes. So usually we divide it to 1 by 1 millimeter square, and each one contains 5 smaller equal squares in either length or width. Okay? So vertically what we are measuring and horizontally what we are measuring. So vertically it actually represents the amplitude or the voltage or the amount of electrical potential, how much strong it was maybe, which represents, involved in each ECG complex. The usual voltage calibration is 1 millivolt signal that produces 10 millimeter reflection, and which was actually quote by James Stone yesterday. Can you remember that?
Yeah.
It's just very, basic. It might be boring, but it's essential. If you don't understand, you might have a wrong one in your hand and you are interpreting a wrong one. He got, I do appreciate him, he got yesterday, he felt something wrong. He tried to look there and here, and he found that the calibration is wrong. You must check calibrations in ECG. So calibration is what? 2 big square represent 1 millivolt. It has to be stated there in the ECG paper. It has to be stated there. So 10 millimeter is equal to 1 millivolt. Yesterday it was 0.5. It was only 0.5, isn't it?
Yeah.
Per 1 millivolt. That's why it came low. I have added that to the lecture. I'll show it to you. So each 2 big square represent 1 millivolt. With that calibration, we can interpret if we have high voltage, low voltage, ventricular, for example, enlargement or hypertrophy, we can. But with different calibration, the parameters will be different. Okay. Horizontal. Measuring what? Stating the ECG as a speed of 25 millimeter per second. It means it's going through the machine out in that speed, recording the waves. So with that speed, 25 millimeter per second, it gives us, this is the big square, okay, which contains 5 small. It gives it 0.2. Why? 25 millimeter per second, it means 5 big squares. Is that right? So 5 big squares, 1 second. So 1 big square is 0.2 of second, isn't it? And 1 big square contains 5 of the small one. So each small one contains or can represent 0.04 of the second. And you have to be sure that there 25 millimeter per second. It does make difference. Okay? Okay. For whom that ECG? Do you know?
For who?
Yeah.
For the king.
It is a hospital I was looking before, but it was a machine.
Oh.
Just the machine.
So do
It is it is actually the default of the machine. I didn't attach to any patient. I just tell the machine, give me your standard. It's printed that off. Okay. I'm going to discuss each and each. I'm not showing you the calibration. You have to run 25 mm per S, 10 mm per millivolt. If you want these two information, you are okay. You can interpret. Is that okay? I'm not going to beyond anyone any point. That's that information. Okay.
That's nice having that little clock thing on the top, isn't it?
It's active.
It's nice.
Access, yeah. I will discuss that maybe next week. Not next week, the week
Yeah.
after. Yeah, the access. What's here?
This is the one.
This is the one. Okay. 25 mm per second. It's actually 0.5, not 5 per millivolt. That's why it came this way. It's very short, isn't it? And we have corrected that. Now even we can see a B wave, we can respect a B wave. Can you come back there? It's a very small one. No B wave can be observed here or there. It's so difficult because it's changing calibration really make difference. Here we can appreciate the B wave everywhere. Complex, more bigger. Is that right? Just go ahead. If you ask a question, you can ask.
Yeah. Pause من هنا.
I don't know. I don't know.
What does it do?
I don't know.
أنا بكبر الصورة بتيجي مزرقة هو مصور ده عادي.
Any question to that level? No questions. Okay.
What are you trying to say, Dr. Hinkley?
Good one. To that level, thank you.